Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the virtual edition of Ek Mulaqat. Monsoon definitely sets the mood for a perfect mulaqat. And as we remain confined to our homes, adapting to the new normal, meeting and connecting has taken a new course. The Prabha Khaitan Foundation, too, lost no time to ensure that patrons catch up with their favorite sessions and keep their spirits high by reformatting these sessions. Attendees can now tune in from the safety of their homes as we connect virtually with nearly 30 cities in India and overseas. The Prabha Khaitan Foundation is dedicated towards working to uplift the condition of women and other crucial social issues across India. The foundation also endeavors to preserve and showcase our rich cultural legacy through various initiatives to further its causes. Ek Mulaqat is one such exclusive initiative that allows patrons to rendezvous with legends and stalwarts from various fields across the world and also from classical music and performing arts and engage in enriching conversation. We are extremely elated to have with us today the Doyen of Kathak, who has redefined the dance form with her extensive research and innovative renderings. Padma Shri recipient, Srimati Shobhana Narayan. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much indeed. Thank you very much indeed.
Guru Shobhana Narayan carries forward the legacy of the Guru Shishya Parampara in keeping with its traditions and goes a step forward and has trained nearly 50 underprivileged children over the past decades. She has choreographed 600 specially abled children for the 2003 Abbey Olympics and is a visiting lecturer for universities. Author of 16 books and numerous articles for Intact, UNESCO, her research and information has rewritten the history of our ancient dance form. Her extensive research has led to the discovery of 16 Kathak villages situated in eastern UP and Bihar, and has also made a film on the philosophical aspect of Khajuraho titled Dance of the Temples. Shobhana Narayanji's unique blend of dance and philosophy has breathed poignant reflection of wisdom and meaningfulness into the craft. An outstanding artiste, guru, choreographer, author, researcher, she is truly a role model par excellence. This introduction is just the tip of the iceberg. Let us hear from the legend herself about the many diverse perspectives of her personality and her enchanting journey of expressions and emotions wrapped in graceful rhythm. To make the conversation more interesting, we have our very own SAS woman of Noida, Ms. Shinjini Kulkarni, who is again a very talented Kathak dance performer. So now sit back, relax, and enjoy the session.
Well, I would like to just thank Prabha Foundation for this beautiful initiative and for having me on the show. And I'm looking forward to being asked questions by Shinjini.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kaveri ji, and thank you so much, Shobna Didi, for giving us your time today. It's such an honor to be in conversation with you today evening, and I think for as long as I can remember, whenever anyone asked me, what is it that you want to do in life? Even before I had an answer for it, I knew that I wanted to be like you. You know, so many things at once, you know, excelling at everything that you touch, from being a research scholar to being a part of our Indian bureaucracy to being a Kathak dancer and such a celebrated artist, choreographer, performer, and everything else that you do so beautifully. Didi, my first question to you as we start our conversation today is, कई लोगों के लिए मैं कहूँगी अधिकतर लोगों के लिए सिविल सर्विसेज का एग्जाम क्रैक करना उनकी लाइफ का हाई पॉइंट होता है. To be known as a bureaucrat here in India is probably one of the biggest achievements that the youth is looking to do. But your identity is primarily first of a Kathak dancer and second of a bureaucrat. Now, that's a very tough feat to achieve. How did you manage to become a dancer first, despite having such a colossal achievement in your kitty so early on in life? And was it something which you deliberately sought out to do, or it just happened over time effortlessly?
Thank you, Shinjini. First of all, Kaveri ji, thank you for the beautiful introduction. I mean, it was beautiful. I don't deserve all those lovely words that you said, but I'll try my best. And to answer Shinjini's questions. Um, Shinjini, first of all, my two lives. Why is dance more important to me, or my bureaucracy, the second part of my persona, or the first persona, and vice versa? And whether it just happened or was it deliberate, I would just say that I loved both. I just loved both. Both were part of my being, part of my life, right since childhood. And in fact, I entered the world of dance before I did formal, I'm using the word formal education. Because informal education at home had already started from the time I was born, because my mother would keep dinning, talking to me about Indian philosophy and my Vedas and Indian Hindi and Sanskrit literature. So I grew up with Thane, Hrishikesh, Atava, Prati, all the Bhagavad Gita ke shloks and Himadritunga Shringa Se Prabhuddha Shuddha Bharati. So Jai Shankar Prasad ji. So I grew up listening to all this. And so informal education started, but again, I was initiated into dance when I was barely 3 years old. And if you all look in my house, you'll see a framed lehenga of mine, which tells you how tiny I was when I was first initiated into dance, proper Kathak dance. I'm not using the word dance per se. I'm using the word proper Kathak. And so much so that I was born in Calcutta, and when she took me to Shadana Bose in Calcutta so that I could learn from her, Shadhana ji was aghast at my size and at my age, and she said in Bengali, and I that Kolir bacha niye asho, god ka bachcha lekar aayi ho, you brought me a baby now, and so, and I just loved dancing, and I became quite a favorite god ka bachcha of hers, and incidentally, I never used to smile at all those days. I was very serious. What a serious countenance I had, if you see. So, and with a serious countenance, I would keep doing it. And then I went to school. So, and I loved school. I loved my studies. And so I was doing well in both. So both became part of my life. And therefore, it was so natural for me to always be in academics and dance and academics. And later on in life, the academics was replaced by civil service. And I just loved both. So dance for me is my pran, my atma, my breath, my soul. And the other part of me is also part of me that uses different faculties of mine. This one, so now you can take your pick, which one is it? But more importantly, I would say that dance helped me in civil service to keep my feet on the ground and not to be swayed away by that position of that chair. Because you see, one realizes how ephemeral everything is. Everything is so temporary. I mean, it's an illusion. So all the positions and the powers and whatever, etc., it is so temporary. And one has to be firmly grounded that anything that one does is so temporary. But finally, what remains with you is what gives you inner happiness. what is there, which is, part of your something that would give not only yourself, inner self, the joy, but also which is able to translate, and transmit its radiance, that way to others in terms of sensitivity, in terms of whatever, you know, that you're doing something good for society. In or you're bringing even that little moment of joy to certain people or certain groups in society, because we are not addressing everyone at the same time. It's always in small little groups. So, but that, and for me, that inner uh, joy, that inner sense of peace and happiness is far more important,
Gee,
rather than any power, position, or whatever, or whatever, or whatever, or whatever.
right, right. Absolutely, absolutely. Didi, I know that I think you formally started learning Kathak at the age of 3 from Shadhana Ghoshji, of course, in Kolkata. Then you went on to learn the Jaipur Gharana style of Kathak with Hazari Lal ji and Kundan Lal ji as well. And that was in Mumbai, if I'm correct?
Absolutely, because my father was posted in Mumbai.
Right.
So accordingly, where my father went, so Calcutta was Shadana ji. My father was in Bombay, so it was Guru Kundan Lal ji. Sisodia, by the way, not from, yeah. And so when we came to Delhi, it was Birju Maharaj ji. So
Right,
right,
right.
so
Which was a very long phase of your training. I believe upwards of 8 years of every day Nana coming over and training you. And I think your first trip to the UK or London was also with him.
with
And
him in '73, it was with him to Paris.
Paris, wow,
To Paris, yes, exactly, for the festival. And there it was. So my first trip outside also, I mean the professional trip outside, was with Maharaji, and so
so
there
can you
you.
tell us something about your time when you were training and you were doing group dances, as disciples of Maharaji at Kendra? There were so many other dancers who are now very celebrated in the field, and you all were together, and it was the golden era of Kathak dance also, and Kathak Kendra as an institution. Some of the most famous names have graduated during the time you were there.
You know, I was there because Maharaji used to come to teach me every day. So, and for me, I was going to Kathak Kendra, but I was watching everything. I was really not a formal student of Kendra at that time, but I was Maharaji's disciple. So, since he was teaching me at home, but I was always there. And yeah, Shinjini, you won't believe it. When I came to Delhi and he started teaching me, first of all, let me come to that part of it, the training part of it, was he was so meticulous about all the details. He said, no stage performances for 2, 3 years till I say yes. I and I, it was, and my parents readily agreed. I readily agreed because obviously, the aim was to imbibe the true spirit of dance, that way, and the true and so, and when he thought I could be presented on stage, it was at Sakru House, his program, but he presented me before that himself. I mean, I will never forget my indebtedness to Maharaji. That he said, here is a disciple of mine, please see her. And the first 25 minutes or half an hour, I did it. And then after that, he came on. So that was the kind of launching pad he gave. And I'll never forget it. And I'm ever so indebted to him. So, and that as a solo. Yes, as a when we are part of Kathak, there were so many. It was a great time, I, it was, and there was a lot of camaraderie, a lot of camaraderie between all the dancers, senior, junior. I remember Bharti Gupta helping you out and telling you, भाई वो नजर कहाँ जाना है, अगर ये movement है तो कैसे जान. I remember Bharti Didi telling me that, telling me how to drape things, etc. Tirath Bhaiya on one hand, Pratap Bhaiya on the other hand, Pradeep Bhaiya on the other. So there was so much of camaraderie, so much of beautiful spirit of, helping each other out. It was one large family. And it was beautiful. Those times are beautiful, absolutely. And I think that still exists. When we still, it's as though years melt away and we are back to where we were.
That's so true. That camaraderie is still visible whenever we see two of you meet. And for me, as a student of Kathak, when I listen to all these names and you telling me stories about that, it's giving me goosebumps, because it's so exciting to, live that time through you and your stories right now. Didi, I'll quickly take you back and ask you a little bit about your mother, Lalita Narayanji, and your father, K.D. Narayanji, both of whom were very progressive for their times. And I believe your maternal grandfather from Bihar was an estrade player himself. And there was a great amount of focus on Indian classical music within the family. However, no one had taken it up as a career, as a profession up till then. And it was your mother who wanted to introduce you to the arts as early as possible. And she was very hands-on during your training. So I believe मुझे ऐसी कहानी पता है कि नाना जब रोज खाना घर आते थे आपको सिखाने के लिए, तो उनके लिए आलू पूरी की सब्जी बनती थी और वो डिनर करके जाते थे, और फिर खान मार्केट से अलसीना का पान आता था उनके लिए, और वो खा करके और फिर रात को 11 बजे तक ट्रेनिंग चल रही है, and then he's going back with his students.
Don't forget the rabdi, please. एक कटोरा full of rabdi and dal barwa pan.
So, getting all of that and doing that on a daily basis for over 8 years, your mother was so hands-on with it. Until the time your training is happening, she would sit by there, ensuring that you're learning properly and you're staying focused. She's been an integral part of your journey.
Absolutely, absolutely, no doubt about it.
Gee.
In fact, after Maharaji would leave, she would say, तुमने समझा नहीं क्या बता रहे थे, वो क्या चाह रहे थे, वो ऐसे बता रहे थे और ये चाह रहे थे और तुमने समझा ही नहीं. और तो ऐसे करो, then she would say, समझा रही थी कि कैसे करना चाहिए. So I said, अरे.
तो आपको मामा ने खुद कभी कोई साज बजाया या वो खुद गायकी का शौक रखती थी?
हाँ. हमारे नाना जी के घर में, as you mentioned, कि हमारे नाना जी के घर में नाना परनाना उनके पर they बहुत music and dance था. I mean, every child had to be trained in all aspects of Vidya. So whether it was academic or fine arts, all aspects. So every child. So my mother used to play the Israj. So she used to play the Israj, and the Israj is not easy. So that way she used to play the Israj. She was also an alumni of Banaras Hindu University of way back early 40s. And she was a gold medalist of Banaras Hindu University, MA in Sanskrit literature, etc. And and my father, he was also very much into dramatics and flute, by the way. Not to say that, so वो बांसुरी बजाते थे, and so उन्होंने मुझे भी पकड़ाया कि बांसुरी बजाओ, सिखाने की बड़ी कोशिश की, लेकिन I was better at dance, not at बांसुरी and all that.
For others to do also. I think everyone would have been just like, अब कुछ छोड़ दीजिए हमारे.
तो गाना भी मेरी गाती थी, लेकिन से इसराज, I mean proper training in Israj.
So when you became a mother and Ishan Bhaiya came into your life, you already had two full-time careers, and you were traveling the world over for performances and your own work. Uh, how different were you as a mother than your own mother in terms of being around and training and making sure that Ishan Bhaiya is doing his homework on time? And how did you manage this role?
See, the difference was, see, my mother was also into social work. So one thing that I learned from her was that she was looking after the house and everything. लोग आते थे खाना खुद बनाती थी, सबको हमारे घर में never a closed door, never a closed door. कोई भी आए तो बिना खाए हुए नहीं जा सकता है. तो फिर वो था, बट एट द सेम टाइम शी वाज वेरी मच, कोई भी आता था, एज आई सेड नेवर अ क्लोज्ड डोर. कोई भी पहले तो बहन जी थी, फिर माता जी हो गई, फिर अम्मा जी हो गई. तो आई मीन सो देन से वी नीड दिस हेल्प. माय मदर वाज आउट, so she would be going out. She was out for because of this and that and social work and other things, and she was on tour. But so what we learned from her was how to manage her work outside, of helping people, of always being available for people outside, helping to the best of her ability, and always being also available to us because we were also in school. So she said, then so that aspect was there. So that was हमारे लिए भी था कि I was also out on work, and equally but I had the added advantage that when Ishan was small, my mother was around. I had that advantage. I remember when we were growing up, my mother had nobody else around. So yet she was managing. So I think greater credit goes to her. But I had my mother around. My sister was also with me. So so we would always, so Ishan always had somebody, that way. And though I was doing the homework, but my mother was also making him do the homework. Then later on, Ishan, my husband wanted Ishan to do his proper schooling, after the kindergarten from class 1 in Austria, because my husband is an Austrian. So in Austria, so I always say that he was exported to Austria to my husband. So there I had my mother-in-law and my two sisters-in-law. So that way I was very lucky. But the bonding between mother and son, and parents and son were touch wood, very, very. And so in that sense, I was a little different because I was a little more, I had the support of my mother over here at that point of time, and my mother-in-law and my sister. Coincidentally, my Austrian family is as closed-knit family as we in India, completely. So,
How lucky. How lucky. Didi, I'll put up a question regarding Kathak now. In your introduction, Kaveri ji mentioned about the research and then the documentation that you did about finding certain Kathak villages in Eastern UP and Bihar. And I believe you collaborated with a very celebrated scholar, Sanskrit scholar and epigraphy scholar, K.K. Mishra ji, to put this whole project together. Now, as someone who is a practicing Kathak dancer, this is so exciting for me because until then, mostly, I would say 99%, all of our history was orally transmitted over generations. So there wasn't really any documentation, no evidence, empirical evidence that we had to prove that, this is how Kathak has been practicing for so many years. And I believe you found Prakrit inscriptions also dating back many centuries ago. So when this whole project was happening, was it adventurous or in terms of the fact that you realized the kind of contribution you're making to the documentation of the history of Kathak? or there was also that certain feeling of I might rub a few people the wrong way, because there are so many theories, disputes over where it begins from and how it's transmitted and who came first, पहले अंडा आया या मुर्गी. So वो एक फिक्र भी थी क्या आपको?
देखो, सबसे पहले, of course, your second part, rubbing off people, of course there are interested groups. Of course there are interested groups. So it was a tightrope walking, because I mean, okay, they have everybody, interested groups are interested in projecting one X aspect or Y aspect or Z aspect. So, but irrespective of that, if you're a researcher, you have to just go into the proofs. If you're a researcher, so not कि हमने सुन लिया कहा है, तो ये the first hint of Kathak village. Now imagine, I have it was not early in life that I heard about it. It was only 18 years ago that I heard about it, 17 years ago. And that too, when I was in Bodh Gaya for a performance, and that too from a journalist. And now, you know, when a question is coming from a journalist, you're always wondering whether the guy is trying to trip you. So, he said, will you be going to Kathak village? So I thought he was trying, I mean, I didn't know, I was flummoxed. I'd never heard till 2002, 2003, 17, 18 years ago, I've never heard of a Kathak village. I'd never, not even from Maharaji, not even from anyone. The name, so I said, are you talking about villages from where the Kathak came? Or he said, I'm talking about Kathak village per se. I said, naam se. So he says, हाँ नाम, गांव का नाम है कथक. तो मैंने कहा आप मेरी टांग खींच रहे हैं. So he says, नहीं सचमुच है. So then I said, okay, the guy is serious. So then after that I started, my musicians were there. And then he said, okay, they said, दीदी आप जरूर देखिए. मैंने कहा हाँ ये तो बात है, अब तो जरूर इसको ढूंढना है. And that set me off on that chase. So in the beginning, it seemed to be a wild goose chase, but we said let's locate that journalist. Now, to cut a long story short, yes, that was the initial starting point. We went and saw, we found 2 or 3 at that time. Then later on, a colleague of mine, an IS colleague of mine, she got interested because we found many other places, government documents, where the names Kathak villages were coming. The moment we found it, we said, yeah, kuch to hai. Now let's start. So that became another, motivating factor. Then the two of us started our journey. And that journey took us from village to village, village to village. And every time we said, no, we are not only going on hearsay. We want to see the village. We want to meet the people. And we want to see records and documents. I said, without official records and documents, we are not going to be satisfied. So that is how we started delving deeper. And so therefore, we found even this, but that happened earlier. Dr. Mishra found this piece in Kameshwar archives in Mithila, which has been dated. Now the dating, some say it is Maurya period, the epigraphist. Another epigraphic, we also got it counter-checked by ASI, the epigraph, head of the epigraph division of ASI. So, so there's a difference of 200 years, in the dating, but still it is BC. It is before Christ. So whether it is 3rd century before Christ or 1st century before Christ, but it is, or 4th century before Christ. And and it clearly mentions Kathak as devotional dances. It says गंगाए महानदिये तटे सब्बो कथक भिंगार्ण तेन स्तुति तीसी कायम एहि राया आदि नाहो भावेनम तत्सही। प्राकृत में है, ब्राह्मी लिपि में है, and it says कि गंगा महानदी के तट, the reference is to Banaras. It is the region between Vara and Asi, so it says Varanasi. So it is, you have to read it as the region between Vara and Asi. So it must be a small region, जो वाराणसी. So it says गंगा महानदी के तट पे सबो कथक, सभी कथक का श्रृंगार नृत्य, श्रृंगार नृत्य स्तुति तीसी कायम, स्तुति करते हुए यही राया आदिनाहो भावेनम पसी, जिसे आदिनाथ भाव विभोर, भावेनम भाव विभोर पसई देख रहे.
वाह, क्या बात है.
तो अब ये तो हमारी बीसी की है और वो इंस्क्रिप्शन है. एपिग्राफिस्ट ने कहा, they have sent it to the epigraphist, so now these are proper inscriptions.
This is so beautiful, and this is such a great work that's been done to structure and for students of Kathak to know this for centuries now. कि हाँ ये हमारा स्रोत है और हम यहाँ से शुरुआत हमने की है. And अगर कोई इसका मूल ढूंढे, कोई इसका एविडेंस ढूंढे, तो हमारे पास वो भी है. So big thank you, Didi, for the effort that has been put by you and your team for.
And you know, this is the only. It's not Kathak as a dance form. It is Kathak community who dances. So there has to be a difference. So the Kathak dance we see today is very different from the dance of the Kathak community. But अब कैसा था वो डांस? You know, it is graceful, श्रृंगार है. और क्या था? डिवोशनल है, स्तुति कर रहे हैं. और क्या था? Now the form I do not know. हाथ कैसे जा रहा है, पैर कैसे जा रहा है, स्टांस क्या है. So there you have to take the help of sculptures. And very interestingly, the sculptures, everybody is looking at standing sculptures of temples. And how old is the oldest of our temples? Standing temple. Only 1,000 years old, 1,100 years old. उससे पुराना नहीं है. Now those sculptures, लेकिन उसके पहले भी temples थे, तो उनके sculptures कहाँ गए? Gupta period was known for its sculptural work and temples. So where were all the sculptures of the Gupta period gone? Where were the sculptures of the Maurya period gone? Now we don't look into small little museums. It is a haven of information. So that's where you have to see, and that's where you find continuity in the form and stance of the Kathak dance. कि उस समय भी वही कॉस्ट्यूम में भी, बाय द वे कॉस्ट्यूम में भी ये जो हम लोग सोचते हैं ना कि एंशिएंट का मतलब कि धोती नुमा साड़ी होगा, एक माइंड सेट हो गया है which ancient sculptures negated completely. But we have to look into ancient sculptures, and the ancient sculptures, the earliest after Harappan girl, is from Maurya period.
Absolutely. And I think it gives us a very deep set of iconographic evidence to look into and then take inspiration from to take our dance form further then. Didi, in continuation to something that you just said about हमको ये तो नहीं, हमें ये तो पता है कि कथाकार कौन थे या वो कथक कम्युनिटी कौन सी, पर वो डांस कैसा करते थे. उसी से जुड़ा मेरा अगला सवाल है कि आई थिंक 1-2-3 डांसर्स के अलावा, स्पेशली वुमेन डांसर्स के अलावा, आपसे पहले इंटरनेशनल डांस फॉर्म्स के साथ कोलैबोरेशन किसी ने नहीं की थी. वेदर फ्लेमेंको जो कि आज हर सिटी में हो रहा है, कथक के साथ उसका फ्यूजन डुएट, वो सबसे पहले आप ही ने कथक के साथ इंडिया में किया था. Or whether it is tap dance, or whether it is working with the Buddhist chants. Do you feel a little worried in terms of the fact that fusion is not always looked as the best thing from the conservative community of Indian classical dance and music? Did you feel like you might get a backlash? You just enjoyed the process?
No, because I believed in myself, number one. And I was not deviating from Kathak. For me, I was true to Kathak. The other classical dancers, say a Western classical dancer, he's not doing Kathak with me. He is not compromising with his dance form with mine. Nor am I compromising with my dance form with his. So neither of us are compromising. When the Spanish flamenco dancers did it, they were true to their tradition, I was true to my tradition. So what did we do? We just found the common points. After all, even in India, when we are doing it with different classical dance forms, what are we doing? You say it's okay with a different classical dance form and Indian dance form, but it is so different in stance. So what? But you do find common points.
Absolutely.
There are common points, either in terms of you can take a poem or you can take a mood, you can take a, even in terms of movements, you'll find this thing, but the emphasis will be different. जैसे कि, now, अगर हम एक हम लोग का कथक में है, ये हम लोग सम लगाते या धा ते तर ये जा रहे हैं, तो ये हम इसको सम भी लगा रहे हैं. अब ये मूवमेंट है, आप बैले में भी देख रहे हैं ये, लेकिन उसका फील और फ्लो अलग है, हमारे कथक का अलग है, और फ्लेमेंको में भी आप देखते हैं ये, तो सेम. नाउ up how, so what is the difference? It is the approach to it is different, the tenor is different. One is totally anti-gravity, so you have that field of flying. Another one, we are and I go to the other extreme, flamenco, very earthy, very down, and we Kathaks are in the middle. Completely, we are also gravity bound, but with a different emphasis, a different feel, a different approach. So that approach gives it a different flavor. Music will give a different flavor. चीज वही है, वही एक दो या वही तिस्र जाति में जा रहे हैं, वही हम चतुश्र में जा रहे हैं, वही खंड में तीनों में हो रहा है, तीनों में जातियां बदल रहे हैं आपको. लेकिन वेस्टर्न म्यूजिक, क्लासिकल म्यूजिक में कब वो जातियां किस तरह से बदल रहे हैं आपको पता नहीं चल रहा है. यू थिंक कि वो 1-2 लेकिन नहीं, वहां भी जातियां बदल रहे हैं. फ्लेमेंको में भी हो रहा है. हमको तो मालूम है कि हम लोग करते ही रहते हैं. So one started looking for commonality. So all the three of us looked for common features, and we just concentrated on the commonalities, and then it is a pattern. When I'm a little careful about using the word fusion. Fusion means I lose my identity to merge myself into something else. No, I've kept my identity.
Absolutely.
And the others have kept their identity. So it's a beautiful collage which has created a pattern.
Sure. That's why I chose the word collaboration and not fusion to talk about your projects, because it maintains the purity of each dance form that you're presenting. But Didi, today we have a lot of dance that is happening on all and sundry songs from Bollywood, and they may or may not be following the sensibility of Indian classical dance as we have known till now, because art and culture, as we know, keeps changing over centuries, and what we know today was not how it was a few centuries ago. So, what is your view on this, and how do you see? Do you see it as the right thing to do, or wrong thing to do, or it's just an experiment which will die its own death?
I think an experiment dies its own death, which doesn't have anything with die its own death. But I would hate to call it Kathak. You know, I would not call it Kathak. It is a different experiment. It's a different genre. But where it's experimenting, you're trying to create something. So many people have, with with training in X classical dance form. It could be Kathak, it could be Bharatnatyam, it could be Kuchipudi, have also received training in other dance forms, and therefore they have created a beautiful amalgam, a very aesthetic amalgam of all the things together. So that is something I think it is completely, it has an identity of its own, but it is not within that, though, because they have taken many things from different traditions. So it has a beautiful identity, and if it is aesthetically portrayed, beautifully done, it has an identity, but then it becomes very individual to that person or to that stream of person or to that. But today, what we understand, or at least I may be completely mistaken, and I stand prone to correction. But according to my little limited knowledge of Bollywood dance, is only from observation of not many films. I don't see many films, just a few here and there. That's only on the flight that I see, international flights. Is that it is the potpourri of few Kathak movements, few Bharatnatyam movements, a few Western Michael Jackson movements, few salsa movements, few this thing. I mean, as I said, I stand prone to correction, but it is the blend of that, and I think it is rightfully called Bollywood because it is a genre of Bollywood.
Very true. Very
And
true.
it has a pleasing attitude of its own, this thing, but I cannot say it's Kathak, nor can I say it's Bharatnatyam,
Yes.
nor can I say it's Manipuri or Kuchipudi.
That's true. And a very insightful answer, Didi. I think I'm going to let you know I'm going to copy this answer and paste it around whenever someone asks me about it because that's so well put. And I think it gives us a lot of clarity about where the dance form is going and where we need to draw a line of this is experimentation work and this is the pure classical work,
May I
Kathak work.
also say that within even the so-called traditional dance form, जो पारंपरिक है, जो परंपरा में रहते हुए भी उसमें innovations बहुत
जी.
there, so without compromising with the ethos, the atma of Kathak, it's always on its own inner innovativeness. There is an inner innovativeness, inner creativity, which is there. Otherwise, if it is not innovative, it's not changing with times, then it would have died a natural death a long time ago. And change is constant. Change is the only eternal constant. What we see as tradition today, even as parampara today, was perhaps within that parampara an innovation at some point of time. So let us also, when we are talking about innovation and parampara, so even within a parampara, any parampara, there's also innovation, there's also change taking place without one realizing it.
Absolutely. Very true, Didi. Very true. So,
जैसे आप एक और परंपरा में देख लीजिए, जो ट्रेडिशनल खानदानी कथक की परंपरा में पहले कभी औरतें नहीं करती थी. आपके यहाँ भी औरतों ने तो डांस नहीं किया.
बिल्कुल नहीं.
देख सुन करके नॉलेजेबल थे, लेकिन पर्दे पर नहीं आए, कभी नहीं. अच्छे गवैये भी थे, लेकिन पर्दे पर नहीं आए. आज वो बदल गया है. विदाउट इवन कोई भी घराना हो, आप उस घराने की लड़कियां अब आने लगी हैं, are performing. So even within the parampara, you're seeing changes taking.
Absolutely. Like I always tell, that वैसे हमारे बायो पे लिख कर आता है that we are representing the 9th generation of Kalka Bindadin Gharana, but technically I am only the 2nd generation of women dancers from the family. So it took 7 generations before this could break, and the first female could start performing professionally in the family.
Now, again, to expand a little further, Kalka Bindadin Gharana is now 200 years old, 250 years old, say 300 years old. No, it should be, 17th century. Yeah, 300 years old. So now, but Kathaks were there before that. When we are talking of that Prakrit inscription, उस समय भी कोई घराना होगा, पर बहुत सारे घराने होंगे, एक भी नहीं होगा, 2, 3, 4, 5 घराने होंगे. But at what were they dancing? What are the pieces dancing? You can only get a glimpse from what snippets of what the text may have said, but we don't know exactly how they danced, except you can infer from the text, and that too, that shastras which have written down periodically. हाँ ये pieces इस तरह से थे, ये शाब्दिक थे, ऐसे था, and then you're from sculptures, so you're extrapolating. But there must have been so many inherent changes within the parampara. I'm using the word Kathak ki parampara.
Absolutely.
I'm not talking about Gharane ki parampara.
बिल्कुल.
Kathak ki parampara. Dance ki us tradition ki parampara mein, there must have been so many changes over the years. Changes in paramparas, in Gharana parampara.
Very true, very true. And to understand that, to grasp that, and then take it further with you and create newer things, to create and explore topics that have been earlier seen as too risky to be touched. One of your projects was Kadambari, which was on Rabindranath Tagore's sister-in-law and his inspiration that he took from her. It's a topic that's always been there, but classical dancers have always felt a little scared to touch it because they didn't know how to interpret it and what would be the reaction. But you went ahead and did it within the parampara of Kathak. And yet that topic is it's dealt with in a very contemporary way.
Let's see, if I can do Radha we'll all accept. कुछ राधा में कर लिया, it's part of सभी के ट्रेडिशन में, सिर्फ हमारे कथक ट्रेडिशन में नहीं, सभी के ट्रेडिशन में, right? लेकिन 10वीं शताब्दी के पहले, 10th century के पहले राधा was nowhere in the picture. And so Radha was an innovation of that time. Innovation in the sense that to be we do not know, she was there, but she was not such a main figure. The way she became such a main figure, central figure of delineation, of dance delineations or painting delineations, or whichever way. Now, similarly, if Radha ka viyog hai, Radha ki, how is it different from the viyog or from the tadap of unfulfilled, of not being understood? Because Kadambari was a person who was not understood, and her whole life was a sequences of disappointments. And so that disappointment is a natural in life. And so extremely nice, and that is part of everybody's life. Everybody is going through it. So for me, Kadambari was just another character who gave me, I mean, first of all, there were 2 reasons why I did Kadambari. I was born in the house of Sarla Devi Chaudhary. And she was a niece of Rabindranath Thakur. And so, and I always heard of Kadambari. And, you know, so I grew up hearing about her and about that tragic life she died very early. And all the disappointments that she had to go through. She couldn't become a mother. She was dying to be a mother. She was dying to, I mean, she loved her husband, incidentally. She just loved her husband, but somehow the other, she felt that it wasn't reciprocated. May have been, but that is the feeling that she got. Then she had setbacks. So there were setbacks. She couldn't become a mother, blah blah, etc. etc. So the series, and so she could only confide in one person, and that was Rabindranath Tagore, and who was younger to her. And so they were, in a way, so he would use her as the sounding board for his poetry. Now, I think, but he understood the turmoil that she was undergoing. So I saw her only as a woman. Yes, I was attracted by her throughout that growing up period, but I only saw her as a woman whose life has been, you know, the kind of different emotions that she's been going through. And for me, it was this emotional journey within that woman.
How beautiful. I feel so inspired hearing about this. I have to keep a track of time also because we have a short question and answer session also, even though I had a few more questions that I wanted to ask you. But I'll quickly ask Anandita ji if we have any questions that we'd like.
There is one question on the Q&A box. You can take that.
I'll take that first. So this is Indrila Dutt-ji. She is asking, are you very inspired by Swami Vivekananda? Because, and she further asks, what made you put up a production on him?
Okay, first of all my productions on all the saints were, I was Professor Ramchandra Gandhi, grandson of Mahatma Gandhi, used to consider me his younger sister. We used to sit, and I love philosophy. So we used to have lots of philosophical discussions. And he was an eminent philosopher. So we used to have so many discussions. And that's how, going to now Swami Vivekananda, I loved his, when we were discussing him, we said, look at this gentleman. He had some preconceived, but how he kept on changing his preconceived notions. And you know, and he admitted his thing, and the way he was, so when he went to Khetri, he was the way, you know, when the one singing girl was to sing, and he said, I don't listen. You know, I mean, his attitude was that he's a Swami. And then when she sang, Prabhu, mere Avagun so that when she started singing, कि मेरे अवगुण so then he said, and the purity of the voice, the purity of the note, the cry of a soul, he felt it. And he said, who am I to prejudge a person? And so, I mean, that was his badappan, to acknowledge that here is a pure soul, whose purity of the soul is coming through, the cry is coming through. And here I am sitting and prejudging that X must be bad, or Y must be good, and Z must be whatever, etc. So he said, I'm putting colors to everyone, so why should I? That was one. The second was, I loved his experience in Shir Bhavani. So when he goes to Shir Bhavani, and then he's seeing how in his month, you know, and how he feels that Devi is talking to him. That why are you telling others that they are bad, when you are not allowing your own brethren to come into my portal to visit me?
So
So,
beautiful.
so I think, that kind of enlightenment that he went through one after the other experiences of it, I think were amazing. Were amazing. Because at that point he has said in his, I was tempted to deny the existence of the Devi. Because he said, Devi, if you cannot even protect your mandir from being destroyed, so why should I, that way, your own home from being destroyed. So he said, who are you to? He said he felt that the Devi was talking to him, and that her voice came, who are you when you are not allowing your own brethren from your own land and your own so-called creed to come and visit me. So why are you talking about other people? So he said, look within yourself. So he said that looking within myself to see where am I going wrong, rather than pointing fingers at others.
Didi, you need to stage this soon because I haven't seen this and I'm now really, really excited to watch it. Once COVID is gone and once we are back into auditoriums, then I have to see this project of yours live. So there's this one question, Mom, that was put up for you on Instagram, which is you've been leading a professional and personal life balance even before it was in trend. But do you ever feel overwhelmed by so many hats that you wear? Is there ever a moment where you feel like you do not know what are your likes or dislikes or what Shobna really wants?
I did whatever I wanted to. Whatever I did with my full heart.
So no
Full
feeling of
passion.
overwhelmed by all the expectations and things that you have to live up to.
I mean, I never lived because it is the dumb thing. I mean, if it was the dumb thing, then I would have been married here at the age of 16. Those were the times when by the time you're 16, 18, you're married off, the dumb thing was, कि आप ऐसे only this or only that. The dumb thing was not to take dance as a profession and things like that. For me, no.
I
I've
think
never gone by the dumb thing in life.
absolutely.
The
No,
dumb thing was follow your husband around. I never did that. We had a long distance courtship, long distance marriage, and now I think post retirement we are spending more time together.
but this is so inspiring, not just in your professional life, but the way you managed and handled your personal life, the way you give love to your juniors and to kids like me who have literally grown up in front of you. It's so heartening, and the warmth that's always around you. Thank you so much, Didi, for
Thank
giving
you.
us your time today, entertaining my questions, some silly, some I hope not so silly.
Not at all, beta, not at all. And it's always such a pleasure because y'all are the younger future generation. You have to take this forward. And so the older generation, we are on our way out. And we've made mistakes. All of us have made mistakes. Look at the environment, what we've done to the environment around. So we've all made our mistakes, but y'all are there. होप इज देयर वो मुझे ये कहते हैं कि लेकिन मैं यहाँ फिर आऊंगी सो एवरीबडी कम्स बैक लाइफ टेक्स अ फुल सर्किल लेकिन मैं यहाँ फिर आऊंगा बच्चों के दहन से बोलूंगा चिड़ियों की जुबान से गाऊंगा जब बीज हंसेंगी धरती में और कोपले अपनी उंगली से मिट्टी की तहों को छेड़ेंगे मैं पत्ती पत्ती कली कली अपनी आंखें फिर खोलूंगा सरसब्ज हथेली पर लेकर शबनम की कतरे खोलूंगा यानी हम जो परंपरा जो छोड़ कर जा रहे हैं जो आत्मा आई वुड नॉट से द परंपरा इन द नेगेटिव वे but in the positive manner, but that is there in y'all, and y'all are going to further it and improve upon it. improve upon it, and and make a sort of correct any parts that may have been sort of.
Definitely. With that promise, we'll wrap up today's session. Thank you once again, Didi, for being with us. And I thank all the viewers, the participants, and on behalf of Prabha Khaitan Foundation and Ehsaas Women, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I would like to thank Shinjini, you and Prabha Khaitan Foundation for this beautiful series that they have started, and for helping us to be in touch with each other, getting to know each other. Thank you. Thank you. And for having me on your show.